Good day, folks. Sean here from Air Photography. So some of you might recall I did a review of the Zike Drive a while back. Basically, it is an expandable drive for something like an iPhone 15 or iPhone 16. And not too long ago, they released an upgraded version with some very important updates. Now, in all reality, this works great on multiple devices. It's not just necessarily for iPhones or Android phones. It works great with tablets, desktops, laptops, even your PS5. Nice, small, minimal way to get some extra storage on all your devices. And if you're like myself, you're a mobile editor, something like this can be extremely important. Now, just to kind of go over some of the upgrades, as you can see here, this is the original. Here's the new upgraded model. The size is slightly bigger, but not by much. The functionality is the same, but what they've done here is they've increased the max storage you can purchase. With the previous model, you could only get a max storage capacity of 1 terabyte, but now you can get these up to 2 terabytes. So they're available in sizes of 256, 512, 1 terabyte, and now 2 terabyte. But probably one of the most important updates to it is the read and write speed. The other one worked really well for everyday tasks. You could edit video files, 4K video files right off the drive. They're nice and fast for transferring content. But if you wanted to use it to record in ProRes from something like an iPhone, if you were recording in 1080 at a low frame rate, they worked fine. But if you wanted to film in 4K at a higher frame rate, they weren't really capable of that. But the new upgraded model now has a read speed of 990 megabits per second and a write speed of 960 megabits per second. So it is now fully compatible with Apple ProRes on an iPhone. You can record at 4K at 120 frames per second with no issues at all. And we're going to take a closer look at that here in a minute. Another feature that they've added is a quiet fan. It's really quiet. It only comes on when needed. But that way, when you're doing really intensive tasks with it, the fan will kick in to help keep it nice and cool. It's an extremely simple device to use. You can just plug it into the bottom of your iPhone or whatever supported device you're going to attach it to. As you can see, we have a full color display with a lot of different information about various statistics. When it is attached to your iPhone, you can see we now have it listed as Z Drive there. So we can go in, browse documents, we can copy documents over to it, videos, files. So it's extremely easy to use and it can be very beneficial because sometimes these devices have very limited storage. But the nice thing about it is you may find it in the way at the bottom. Myself, if I'm just connecting it quickly, I find that works perfectly. But if you're going to be leaving it attached for a while, you may want to connect it to the back because it is MagSafe compatible. And in the box, they include these different connectors. They have different lengths for the different size of the phone, whether you're getting just a regular sized phone or you got one of the Pro Max series, you'll use a longer one. To use it, you just simply attach it. You plug it in to the USB-C at the bottom. And as you can see, with the MagSafe magnets in it, it holds it nice and flush to your phone. So you can use it and it's not going to be in the way at the bottom. So that all boils down to personal preference and how you like to have it attached. Now I'm just going to show you here how it works with ProRes. You can see I'm going to switch it over to video. I'm going to turn ProRes on. I'm going to plug in the drive. Right away down at the bottom here, you're going to see that it pops up USB-C. So now when we record ProRes, it's going to record it directly to the drive. Now, as mentioned, this drive supports ProRes up to 4K at 120 frames per second. Now, I'm demonstrating here with an iPhone 15, so it only goes up to 60 frames per second. But as you can see, we can switch it to 4K, 60 frames per second, and it's going to record with no issue. So the Zike Drive can be extremely beneficial if your person is going to be recording in ProRes, as ProRes files can get extremely large and you may run out of storage on your phone very quickly. But for myself, the more important reason I like them is for video editing, and I'm going to demonstrate that here in a second. Now, before we get into that, I do want to point out a few other important things. At the bottom of the Zike Drive, you can see we have a USB-C port. So this supports third-party accessories, including pass-through charging. It supports up to 27 watts of fast charging. So while you have the Zike Drive attached, you're able to plug in a power source and charge up your phone. And on the screen there, you can see we are charging at 26 watts. Now, another important thing to note is while using the Zike Drive, you can use third-party accessories. And that can be extremely important if you're going to be using this setup to record ProRes. Most likely you're going to want good audio as well. So you're able to plug accessories in such as receivers, wireless microphone receivers directly in. Right now I'm just attaching the DJI Mic Mini receiver and it will work flawlessly connected to the Zike Drive. And it works with other microphones as well. If you have the DJI Mic 2, you could attach it with no issues. Now, another feature I kind of discovered by accident, I don't know if this is an advertised feature, but you can actually daisy chain these. You can see when I plug it into the bottom of the other Zike Drive, this is the old one, it powers up right away. And if we go to our sources, you can see it's reading both drives. So that's really beneficial. If you've got files stored on multiple drives, you can connect them together and you're able to access the footage on both drives. It's also a nice simple way to transfer content from one drive to the other. And it doesn't even have to be a second Zike drive. Here I've got a Samsung drive. I can plug it into the bottom. And as you'll notice, it'll come up right away in there as well. There you go. You can see I have the drive listed there now. So another handy little feature. And for those who are curious if you can use something like a smartphone gimbal while you have the drive attached, indeed, yes, you can. Most modern smartphone gimbals have extremely powerful motors, so even this extra weight is not going to affect the balancing or the smoothness. Now, the only thing to keep in mind, different gimbals are shaped differently. So as long as there's enough clearance in the gimbal for the drive, it's going to work just fine. With the new DJI OM7P, it works great when filming horizontally. However, just due to the design of the gimbal, when you try to film vertically, there's not quite enough room there because of the drive attached. Every gimbal size and shape is a little different, so other gimbals you might be able to film vertically. Now, as mentioned, if you're a person who does a lot of mobile editing, whether on something like an iPad or on your iPhone, these expandable drives are super important for storage. And the nice thing about them is you can edit footage directly off them. So I'll just demonstrate that here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select a couple files. I'm going to highlight them, and then I'm going to drag them over to the Z drive. And right now, as you can see, they were just copied over. One was a 3.5 gigabyte file. The other one was almost a gigabyte. And as you can see, it didn't take long to transfer them over at all, maybe like 10-15 seconds. So this drive is actually quite fast. So now if we go to LumaFusion, I've created a new project here. It's as simple as adding this as a linked drive. You can see I got my old one listed there. It's grayed out, but that's because we don't have it attached. So what we're going to do to add it is we're just going to click this button here where it says Add Link to Folder. I'm just going to select the whole Z drive. So as you can see there, it's now added it. We click on it. These are the two files that I just imported. We can bring them in, and there we go. So right now, it's reading the file directly off the drive. So we haven't had to copy the file over to our iPad. If you've got all your videos stored on something like the Z drive here, you can edit directly off the drive. And as you can see, when you scrub through, it's nice and smooth. It's not jittery or jumping around. Even when you play back, these are filmed in 4K at 60 frames per second. You can see that it's nice and smooth. And that's due to the extremely fast speeds. So as a video editor, if you edit all your videos on something like an iPad or iPhone, as mentioned, something like this can be an extremely valuable tool. So yeah, folks, that is a quick look at the new upgraded version of the Zike Drive. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.